Oh boy. So I just like to chat with you for a little while. I've been going live for quite a bit. Um, but what I want to do is I want to look up, like, I'm not looking down at my keyboard. I'm looking up. I'm trying to look up. Okay. There's a lot of vitriol and the color of your skin is this and that. And, if you're right, you're just not right. If you're black, you get back. It This has been settled by God a long time ago. All you have to do is go to Genesis chapter 17. I apologize, chapter 16. Read through the whole chapter down to chapter 17. And that tells you why God kept his promise to Abraham. That was before Abraham became Abraham. Okay? Abraham's wife knew he could never have children. I mean, she could never have children. I'm trying to put it together as I memorize it. But Abraham knew that his wife couldn't have children. And when the mission or the missionary talked with Abraham, was telling Abraham that she was going to have a baby. Now, this was years after Abram was roaming around in the desert, and Sarah knew that she couldn't have children. So she gave Abraham, Abram back then, permission to uh, use his concubine and have children with his concubine. Well, the servant's name was Hagar, all right? And remember now, uh, Hagar had a baby before Sarah. Like I say, this is 10 years after. And every once in a while, she'd catch Ishmael. Sarah, every once in a while, would catch Ishmael, mocking her. And, you know, uh, Hagar would gossip with the other women that she couldn't have babies. Hagar felt equal uh, to Sarah. Finally, Sarah had enough, and uh, she told Abraham that she didn't want Hagar in the camp anymore. And Abraham felt bad. Abraham didn't like it because he loved Ishmael, Hagar's son, because considering your earthly standards, he was Abraham's firstborn. So now, 10 years later, Sarah tells Abraham that she didn't want Hagar in the camp anymore. And Abraham said, well, you gave her to me, you know, because you couldn't have children. Well, before that, the angel came and told Abraham that she would have a baby. Well, she must have been uh, 80 years old when she gave Abraham the concubine, because 10 years later it says uh, she went to Abraham. So she must have been 90, where she was in the tent listening to what the angel was telling Abraham, and she laughed. 90 years old, and you're saying I'm going to have children? Ha! Well, the angel said, do not laugh about the things of the Lord. You will have a child, and you will name it Isaac, which in the Hebrew means laughter. So she did have the baby. While she was uh, taking care of Isaac, the child of Hagar had to have been at least 15 years old or in his teens somehow. And, and he would do silly teenage stuff, and she didn't like it. So she told Abraham that she wanted Hagar. Well, Hagar heard Sarah tell Abraham that she didn't like Hagar mocking her. So Hagar got out of the camp. Hagar, took a powder, so to speak, and she left the camp and went into the desert. Well, as she wandered around in the desert, finally I guess she found an oasis and sat by a stream or something, where the angel of the Lord found her. And the angel says, go back to Sarah, your master. And the same promise given to Abraham about Isaac will be given to you. And your son Ishmael will grow, will grow up, but he will be a wild man. Literally, the way the Bible describes mankind really is a wild ass man that needs his neck broke. So Sarah went back with Ishmael, and Ishmael and Isaac grew up together. And that's how you have two races, two very powerful races, okay? Now, the pigmentation, it doesn't matter uh, about what God colored the skin. The only thing is, recent research says that the darker chromosome in a white person will will overpower, be more stronger than the white, uh, the Caucasian pigmentation of a white person. So it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Doesn't matter. The pigmentation of your skin don't count. As far as race is concerned, there's only the human race, and all you have to do now. You all know that the Bible is not a history book. It only dictates historical events. So, so just read that. If you find a Bible somewhere, read Genesis 16 right down to 17. and it reports exactly how the two races were separated by God. And both of them will be just as powerful, and they'll be blessed the same as Abraham's children will be blessed. Abraham's the father of many. Since Abraham was the father of many, of course, through Ishmael's um, uh, what's it say? Posterity. Abraham's posterity was born many children also. The only difference is God spoke directly to Abraham, initially to Abram, all right? But God's spirit in the physical realm was the one that spoke to Hagar. God never spoke directly to Hagar. He spoke to Hagar through his messenger, the angel. And in Hebrews, I forget the exact scripture, but it says, know ye not that angels or ministering spirits come to minister to those who receive the inheritance? Well, there you go. That's New Testament. Ishmael received his inheritance by God the same way as Abraham's son, the younger one, Isaac, received his inheritance by God's approval. So there's no black or white in God's kingdom. There's only the human race. So try to get that out of your mind. Try to think about the human race, and um, I don't know. I don't want to get all caught up in any kind of arguments. So I'm not gonna give you any information. I'm gonna go live now, or well, actually, um, what I'll do is I'll just shut off. I'll just shut off and I'll just shut off the stream. I'll just end the streaming.